Start by sharing my screen. 1 second. Okay. Before I introduce the opening speaker for today's meeting, I just want to thank this person, and send my gratitude towards his way for being so instrumental in my decision to join KNA and become an FC. So, his passion and commitment to Kumon and the students and family in the area are unmatched. And I've learned so much in my years working for him as an assistant, and is still continuing to learn from him today. He and his wife are pioneers in bringing Kumon to where it is today. And I would like to introduce Mr. Matsunaga. Congratulations on completing 30 plus years, of Kumon. And we're very fortunate and to have, the opportunity to hear you speak. Yes, Patty?
Thank you, Long, for the great introduction. And also thank you everybody for joining today. It is a really special opportunity for our West region to learn and hear from our speakers today. So we're really glad you joined. Our special opening message from Mr. Matsunaga. I'm not sure I have enough words to share my gratitude for Mr. and Mrs. Matsunaga, our mentors, for me, the last 21 years of Kumon. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. M because this is a very unique opportunity for us to kick off our meeting with such an instructor. So Mr. M, we'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Matsunaga. Right? I have to read the script that I shut off this video now. Then you just go through a slide. Then slide 1. Okay. Thank you for giving me opportunity to share. This morning I'm answering 5 questions what Patty asked me to cover. Next slide, please. Okay. I have been always opportunistic, right? I always be happy, right? Then I just think it is just way it is. Nothing we can help. Right? From the beginning, Mrs. M told me if we cannot open our center, I can do online learning. She suggested that we use FaceTime, Skype, Line, and Zoom. Suit each family. Next slide, please. In my case, communication, especially communication to motivate EL students to learn in the same way as usual. One day, PK1 mom contacted with me. Her Annabella, her student name is Annabella, totally lost motivation since she could not come to center. I do not know what to do to motivate those young age, especially by Zoom. So I asked Mrs. M to work with her by Zoom. Annabella was going to learn +3, but she certainly did not seem to do much. Mrs. M started to conversation with something Annabella seems interested in. When she started to took a little more motivated, Mrs. M just asked her how about +2. Annabella said this is easy, but +3 was a little difficult. Mrs. M said, would you like to try with me? I will help you if you find this is difficult. Then she started slowly and her hand stopped at 8+3. Mrs. M asked her, how about 8+2 was? And at that moment, she wrote 11 immediately. My wife, Mrs. M, observed all 10 pages. Then she found Annabella always stopped her hand at the same number, which is 8+3. At the end of Zoom time, Mrs. M told mother about it, then suggested to repeat orally as many times as possible to do 8+3. After I was, oh, by the way, this Annabella is like featured on this poster, right? Yeah, that's fine. After I was watching them, I noticed I could not do that. So I decided to delegate what I cannot do good at. Ask two of staff to do EL reading and all reading students for Zoom session. Nobody wants to learn reading from me anyway. Another challenge is how to help that center learning. I do not lose many students in March, but in April lost about 15 to 20% of them. They are no longer no large companies in Sacramento area. Most parents are state workers or small business owners. Many people have lost their job. I do not know this month's number yet, but I expect some more students withdraw. However, I want to keep all my staff, even including janitor. Few of staff afraid to come to work, so they stop working for me. But I have two full-time staff. Some instructors told me that my center size having two full-time is crazy, even before this difficult time. This is very difficult to keep up the business with this situation. However, this is okay. Mrs. M always said, at least I can continue business. Some small business owner lost the job completely. We must be grateful to be able to stay in business. Next slide, please. I believe that most important thing is that we have to maintain the learning ability, self-study skill, and learning motivation that students have acquired at Kumon. Learning is surely easier for our students when the school and Kumon resume. For students to learn and progress as properly as they have, even they cannot come to the center. The most important way is to give them the just right level of worksheet. That is why it is important to make sure the students learn. The new concept section in a Zoom session, you should observe carefully when to intervene help to develop self-learning skills. Make sure do not teach too much. Even Zoom session do not explain with the words. It is also important to always grade and check how the students are doing on the worksheet. When you are checking homework, you should contact your student immediately if you find not the proper way or if you find a mistake that has a pattern without understanding it. I always think how I should develop 7 skills to have students attain to be completers in this difficult time. The most instructor knows Mrs. M if you are not new. She created the spread out 7 skills all over the world in Kumon by doing presentation. You should try to develop those skills. If you are new and do not know 7 skills, ask Patty. Next slide, please. At my center, my wife Mrs. M makes sure to go through all the graded math worksheets. When she finds something, she calls students or parents or emails them immediately. If she thinks they need more help, set the Zoom time beside the uh, scheduled one. This is especially important difficult time like now. Then they do not have to repeat same mistake again and again. You should train your staff to help this. This for a student wrote number not only circle but also in the box. Instruction said in the circle, but many parents are not pay attention. This is important for students to know what comes next number, to read them 2 plus 1. This student is always follow examples to self-learn, but this case, he wrote progress how you saw, process how you saw. Next slide, please. This F student, he is abusing equal sign. This is also important to stop it immediately. Student sometimes wrote wrong intermediate steps, but you should fix it immediately they done so. Once it becomes habit, too difficult to fix it. You should train your grader to pay attention not only answer, but also intermediate step. The time like now, since students do not come to center, so don't wait till homework exchange day. Fix it immediately. Your right side level G student is same as E student. He has great self-learn skills from example, but this one just followed exactly example has written. But sometimes common examples show all procedure how to solve, but you do not need all of them. We learned the lesson. We thought both E and G students are strong. We did not make Zoom appointment for new section. If they come to center, we can find out those immediately after they done. But distance learning, we cannot see this till we get back and grade homework. There is time gap. So even strong student, we should observe those sessions by Zoom. Next slide, please. This is such an anxious time, so parents expect us to communicate more than usual time. You should try your best to do so. Of course, parents want to see students maintain study skills and study habit. As instructor, we have responsibility to do so. That I already talked about earlier. Also, parents want to have felt of safety. We should prepare for safety when they come to exchange homework. You and your staff wear masks and gloves. Also provide sanitizer. We just order sneeze guard glass for front desk to protect exchange homework. Even next phase to open the center, we need those for EL section. Parents want to make sure their children are safe. We should protect our staff too. Next slide, please. You should always focus on positive side. There are many children who work hard on their homework every day and even more pages since no school at this anxious time. And you can have conversation with your student on Zoom. Many parents recognize more value of Kumon because this is time they cannot go to school. Many parents told me that Kumon is systematic and easy to learn at home. I told one parent, I had one parent come back after she withdrew children years ago. Also for children to students come back after they took off in April. Those parents said they need Kumon. We should appreciate them that they value our program. Also, we should think about how parents and the students trust and rely on us for their education. So we must respond that. Then I already mentioned, but at least we can continue work. Sorry, I'm so emotional, right? Okay. Then I already mentioned that I had almost we can continue our business online. Only business is lost.
It's okay. You are doing a great job. Thank you.
Next slide, please.
Okay, Mr. M, this is really wonderful. These are all messages from the families that really appreciate you and all your hard work and dedication to Kumon. This is really, really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, parents want to know how you hard work. I just Mrs. M start saying, okay, I cannot do it anymore.
Okay. Hi, Mrs. M.
Hi. Hi. Okay, parents know your hard work. I just had my student drop the big bag at my front porch at home on Sunday. There are lots of goodies with homework done. So level was all. Also, a parent gave me candy with the card. Another parent baked a spread like that. So many parents show their appreciation. Those appreciations do not just make me happy, they give me the energy to work harder. Next slide, please. I encourage you to count the blessings you receive every day. My most blessing is my wife started helping my center. She has not helped me for a few years since she's too busy for consulting for Kumon instructors in Japan. So just count your blessing, how many you have every day. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No,
Thank you for attention. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matsunaga and Mrs. Matsunaga. This was a really beautiful, beautiful message. And, you know, this is a blessing for us today to have you share with us your message, your encouragement. You've been coming to these meetings every week with your big smile. And I know you're not coming just to get the PD credit. I know you're coming because you want to be connected to Kumon and our mission and what we do. So every week I see you with your big smile. You give me a lot of encouragement and hope. And today, this was a really special opportunity for all of us to hear your message and your very, very important points that we need to be focusing on. But more importantly, your optimistic attitude and the fact that we can provide this kind of method to so many children like you and Mrs. M have been doing for so many years, for 30, 35 years, developing amazing individuals who are now making an impact in the whole world. So it is really a blessing for us to have you share that with 275 people today. So thank you so much to both of you. And I don't know if you can see the messages on the chat, but we will save them and send you a copy because I think everybody will agree that this was a really beautiful message and very special opportunity. Thank you,
Thank you.
both
Thank
of you
you.
so much. Kenny, do you want to, should I do the other part?
Should do the other part, but
Okay.
thank you everyone for the kind words that are filling the chat. This is one of the most inspirational moments I've experienced in my life. So thank you all very much for your kind words. Mr. Matsunaga, thank you so much for just your heart, because it's in the right place and it's taking us to a direction that is the future. So thank you so much, Mr. Matsunaga.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Patty?
So, so since Mr. M kicked off our meeting, we're gonna give him the honor of selecting the number for the first raffle prize. So Mr. M, can you pick a number between 1 and 276?
Okay. 111 then.
111.
111, yeah.
All right, so our team will look up who that is and we'll announce the first winner shortly. But while we're waiting for that, we're gonna go ahead and introduce our next guest, who is Shuko from Florida. She's joining us again today. I know her time is very limited, so we really appreciate that she had a chance to stop by and say hello again. Can you unmute Shuko, please?
Okay, I am muted. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. We are in the afternoon, and my first Zoom meeting is coming up at 2. I changed it to 2:30, so I have a little more time today. So what I'm asked to talk. Oh, first of all, Mr. and Mrs. Matsunaga, thank you very much. I'm here because of you guys. You taught me everything, who I am today. Okay. But anyway, going back, I'm asked by Patty that talk about how I'm using Zoom. I talked about it 2 weeks ago. So I showed you 150 appointments over 2 weeks. So like this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is today's appointment. So starting at 2:30 and all the way, the last appointment is 7. But then higher level of students, they, unless they really are stuck, they don't request Zoom, but they send me pictures. Why this is so? And like this is my communication with today I got the J50, J49B. So I write this one. So those kind of communication. But I and below students, I assign time, not parents asking me Zoom, because I introduce all new material through Zoom. So I just send parents, you're gonna have Zoom with me tomorrow, what time? So this is the result. And one student said that she can't be at 5, so I squeezed her in at 3:15. So because those are the easy students, so I thought I may be able to take care of them in 15 minutes, even though one is F31, the next student is F96, and then the third student is E161. So those are the all important sets, but I try my best to observe and guide them in 15 minutes. But anyway, so I prepared 2 students today. So like since I'm seeing like 10 students per day, more than 10, like 12 to 16 students per day. So I just picked 2 students from yesterday's Zoom session, and I will talk about it. So one is a student. I do share screen. Oh, no, I can't do share screen. Post disabled.
Can you guys make Shuko?
Yep, she should.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah, I just did. So try to reshare.
Oh, you did? Okay. Share screen. Okay. I think this one. Yeah. Oh, that's 25. So this is not the one. That's the next one. Okay. So, yeah. Hold on. Maybe this one. Where did it go? Anyway, this student is a first grader, so I stopped share screen for now. Yeah, that's okay. That's it. So she passed the test about 10 days ago, and she started the level B. And B11, I did Zoom last week. B11 because that presentation is different, so I always watch. But what I want to make sure on B11 is alignment, because boxes tell you where they should write answers. So we instill that concept. Boxes tell you where you put the answer. Okay. So I make sure they put right place. And then, but since the first question is how to read the subtraction questions, I don't say anything like carrying over or anything like that. I just watch if they can do those work. Then yesterday she did this B21. So I believe you are familiar with that. So I just said, write your name, date, and the time. And she started working. So 15 plus 5, and she did pretty good here, left side. And right side, number 6, she wrote 20. Okay. It's common, right? Everyone experienced that, right? If you just let them do first grade or kindergarten, they put 20. So I stopped her because I was watching, and I stopped her and I said, are you sure is that the same answer as number 1? You know, number 1 she put 20, and number 6 she put 20, right? So I said, is that right? And she paused, and she said, oh, and she put 30. And after that, she was very good, very quick, and I thought that she got it actually. Okay. Then where another share screen. That's the one I showed. Oh, no, that's the one. Where did it go, Kenny? Once I close, where does that go?
So when the share screen pops up, if you have too many windows open, on the bottom right, it should show an option for more screens or show all screens, and that will show it for you.
Okay. More screens. I shouldn't have erased them, right? Share. I don't have. Are you seeing Zoom?
We see the Zoom page, yeah.
Okay, how do I go? Stop share. Okay, so anyway, then so she moved to 25. Okay, so she was very quick and she was excellent, and so I thought that she got it. Okay, you're not sharing screen at this moment, right?
Yeah, we can see you right now.
Okay, good. I'm gonna open 25. Okay. So I'm going to share this screen. I believe this is 25. Here we go. So she came here. So 24 plus 10. There is no carrying over, no adding one. Okay. And she kept writing. You know, it's 44 and 45. I said, wait. You know, why 44? And she looked at me, you know, and then she didn't say anything. So I said that's 34. It's not because 4 plus 0 is 4. It's not 14. But she still looked at me. So I learned she really didn't understand what she was doing. She was just doing what she was doing, and she didn't think why she's adding one more on 10th place. So if I didn't watch her through D25, I probably didn't understand, or I didn't know she was not really understanding. So I thought it was really nice to watch her. And then, so I planned 21 to 30, 3 times repetition. And I thought while I was watching 21 to 24, oh, I repeated too many times. You know, I thought it's too many times. Then when I saw 25, oh yeah, she needs that many repetitions. So that kind of confirmation, or that adjustment can be done by watching students. So I'm not sure she understood yesterday, so I'm gonna do another Zoom tomorrow. Today I'm booked completely, so unfortunately I can't do it. So tomorrow I'm gonna Zoom again, so I can confirm this time she can do all pages perfectly. So that's my plan. Okay, and then another student. So right after this meeting, I have another student, grade K student, doing C186. I saw him yesterday to do C181. Okay, so let me see. That's 186. Oh, I know, I'm not sharing. Hold on.
And Shuko, as you're pulling this up, you said this is a kindergartner doing C186, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's right. Okay. So I can't see that. But yeah, I mean, I hope you're familiar with C181. C181 is just 3 digits. But what I want to see on 181 is they don't write any numbers on 100 place, right? So, okay. Now I think I can show you. Okay, so I'm gonna do share screen. Okay, you see it, right? So what I wanna do is, so they don't put any number here because 1 divided by 2 is nothing. And then you open up and then you see 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then it's 0. Again, it's alignment and the use of boxes where they should write the answer. So yesterday, so he said, it's too easy. Okay, I know how to do it. And I'm gonna challenge you to give me harder work. That's what he said last night. Okay, so but I watched and he just traced this, but he was able to put 70 here. Then from here he put 8 on top of 1. Okay, so I said, is that the right place to write answers? And he just kept on going. He usually doesn't listen to me very carefully. So I stopped him and I said 1 divided by 2 is nothing, so you can't put a number here. So 16, and I prefer to highlight that. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Right. So then he got it. But 181 to 185 set is very interesting because it's a mix of everything. Like third page, you have to write the answer on the 100 place. So if they are weak, sometimes they just don't know what to do. So by watching them doing this 181 to 185, so far I saw a lot. Then I believe I thought I knew worksheets very well, but I didn't know this deeply. So I can see where they're gonna stuck now, particular question. So that's a good learning opportunity for me too. Yeah. So today he's gonna do 186. which is yeah. Uh, so this is the one I want to see, but usually I don't say anything. I just watch, and it's like exciting to me watching kids. You know, they think and they if they get it, I said, "Good job, you got it," and then I can see their smile, and it's good. Like it's exciting to me to see their work and their they are working so hard. So that's nice. Okay, so stop sharing. Okay, so I still have like 6 minutes. I have to have lunch, but if you have anything to say, or Patty, do you want me to say something, or do you have any questions?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Hugo. We know your time today was very limited, and you stayed a little bit longer too. So just following up from the last time Shuko joined us, if you remember, she had all of these appointments, but when the question she was asked, do you see every student once a week or twice a week? She said it depends on what they're solving and it depends on what she's looking to see. So this was a really good example today of 2 students and Shuko showing a specific pages, specific problem, and the reason why she wants to see the student and what part even of a specific problem she's going to watch to see what the student writes. So even during these times, utilizing Zoom to do that kind of very intentional observation is really, really important and gives you an insight of how Shuko is thinking about each student and each worksheet to make sure everything that she observes is very intentional to develop what she wants in the student. So we have a couple questions on the chat. Shuko, thank you for sharing those examples. There was a question from Christine earlier about how do you observe the student with your camera, but then she also has another question about how many students do you work on Zoom? I think last time you had said one-on-one for the math ones, for all your math students, right?
Yes.
And so how many, you had about 150 appointments, but you do one-on-one depending on what they're solving and how many times you see each one. It does depend on the worksheet, right?
But I set up appointment every 30 minutes increment. So sometimes, like yesterday, I started at 10 a.m. And today, I'm starting at 2:30 today. So every 30 minutes, I have appointment until like 7:30, depending on the students, number of students. But usually I see 12 to 16 students per day. So I'm standing today. Okay. The reason why I'm standing is I was always walking around at the center 5 hours per day for 2 days plus 2 hours per day for 2 days, almost 15 hours. And I was sitting, zooming, and my legs kind of gave up. So that's why I decided to do Zoom by standing. So I'm standing now. Okay, so and I do one-to-one, and my reading assistant does one-to-one, and my ear assistant they do one-to-one too. So everyone is doing one-to-one, and we are hoping to go back to 25% capacity operation middle of June, because we opened up this week. It's a little bit earlier than California people. So we are preparing for that too. We can talk about it next time, how I'm thinking about it.
And I love your idea of doing Zoom standing up. I might steal that idea because you're right. After all this sitting doing Zoom. I know you have to go, but just for everybody to know, Shuko tries to join us every other week when she can slot us in. So we will continue learning from Shuko. If you do have additional questions, we can definitely collect them and send them to her for the next time she will be available. So I know you have to go. Please grab your lunch before your next.
Right, non-stop today again. Like
Non-stop.
2:30 to 7, and then all the kids, higher level of kids are sending me pictures of where they are stuck. So I got to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shuko, for stopping by our meeting. We really appreciate it so much. And we'll see you next time that you can join us.
Yes, I'll be here in 2 weeks.
In 2
Not
weeks.
next-
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye, Shuko.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Shuko. Thank you so much. And for those that had applied for the Shuko study tour, today would have been the day we were actually in Florida. So it's fantastic that she was able to join us in our homes and on our computers for our study tour. So thank you so much for that fantastic bit of knowledge. To think of an instructor who I know of that has really deep worksheet knowledge, to even say today, wow, I learned the worksheet even deeper. Like that's really fantastic. So thank you so much, Shuko. Now I'd like to transition to an instructor who has been using social media to really propel her center forward. So now we are going to hear from Nina. Hi, Nina, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, Nina. Could you give yourself an introduction while I pull up your PowerPoint?
Well, this is a hard, those are hard acts to follow, but my name is Nina. I'm from Phoenix, and I was asked to share a little bit about Facebook with you guys. So that's what I'll do.
Perfect.
I've been an instructor for 7 years in North Phoenix.
Great, and everybody should be able to see the PowerPoint here. This is Nina, and this is continuing off of our theme. Last week we heard from Brandon about how to use social media to make ourselves stand out, and Nina's done a really great job at that in the past with some initiatives, and that's what she's going to talk about here. So whenever you're ready for me to hit next slide, you can just tell me next slide, okay?
Okay, you can hit the next slide. So I started this Facebook thing last year. You know, it has been on my to-do list for years, but never got around to it. And so last year I kind of just went for it. So Kumon actually has a really good guidebook on iKumon. It's under branding and it says Facebook guidelines. And so on there, it kind of teaches you everything on how to boost posts, how to connect your Kumon Facebook to your personal page, and then a lot of other guidelines. So I started with that. I actually did it around this time for Teacher Appreciation. We have a couple of schools that we get a lot of students from, and so we just wanted to, one, kind of reward the schools, you know, for either using our name, or a lot of teachers, you know, just kind of throw it out there sometimes, like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, I've heard that Kumon's helped. And so for that reason, we wanted to show the schools our appreciation. And so during Teacher Appreciation, we reached out to these schools. First, we liked their Facebook pages as well as reached out to their PTAs. So that's parent-teacher associations or their PTOs. There's a lot of acronyms for that. But we reached out to them and liked their own personal pages. And then we had a contest. And so on our Facebook page, I think, is that the next one? Yeah, on our Facebook page, we put out a contest. And so we sent an email to all of our current families, as well as posted this post on our Facebook pages. And then once you friend those PTOs, you can message them. And so we messaged them, letting them all know that we're having this contest. And then we had everyone kind of vote for their favorite school. And the schools that had the most votes received a cash prize. And so this really helped, one, boost traffic to our page, because now people were going to our physical page, liking the page, and then commenting on this post. And so we actually went from like 12 likes to 300 likes with this one post. And so it really helped the traffic for our page. One thing I learned was that Facebook has guidelines as well. And so I tried to boost this page, but it was not boosted because, and what I mean by boost is like you pay for Facebook to send this post to your demographics that you select. But this post was rejected because I have some wording in there actually that's not allowed. And I think one of it is the word like, and then you have to follow certain guidelines for contests as well. So I learned that from this post. So this post was not boosted. So this was pure organically liked and commented on based on people who actually came to our post or who actually received my email. So that's kind of this post. Currently, we just did a Mother's Day post, and that one I did boost, so I did pay for to kind of send out to my local community. We'll see, it ends this week. We'll see how it does. Again, I'm very new at this Facebook thing. I'm trying different things to generate traffic because I realize that a lot of people are on social media and do like contests. And so this is kind of just my way of trying something new. My next plan of action for the upcoming year and next year is to learn more about Facebook. There's a lot of different things that you can do on it. I just from doing these two things, I've learned that there is a lot of like personalization that you can do with these. There are also a lot of guidelines to follow. And so it's just on my to-do to learn about and continue kind of a routine post from our center.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Gina, for sharing that experience. So to illustrate this a little more, you had one post that was a contest, a cash giveaway. Money sells, obviously, everybody loves money. But that one post took your Kumon Facebook page from 12 likes to over 300 likes within the span of a week, was it?
Yeah, about, I think maybe a little bit more than a week, probably about a week. Yeah,
about a week. And what was really great is that you can, all of us that use Facebook, you can like things here and there, but what really made this post special was that they had to comment on this post, right? And there's a difference between commenting and liking.
Yes, so liking, just like it you add likes to your page. But when somebody comments, it takes that post to the top of the like line of posts that those people see. So like every time somebody comments, if you've liked my page, then every time somebody comments on that page, my post comes to the top of your Facebook page. So if you've liked my Kumon page, then as many times as people comment, you'll keep seeing my post to the top of their page.
That is great. So like you're always in that top vision point every time.
Right. And actually with this Mother's Day post, I just learned something else, is that there's a way to, so there's like 3 dots on the top of your post. And if you can, there's a pin to the top. And so now my Mother's Day post stays on the top of my Kumon Facebook page. So, you know, like Kumon posts things every day, but so then your post gets like shuffled down to the bottom of your page. But if you want it to stay to the top of your page so that every time somebody visits your page, they see that contest, then you can pin it to the top of your page.
That's fantastic. These like little bits of information, you learn something each time, but you wouldn't learn it unless you were experimenting with it. So thank you for being brave and reading the guidebook for Facebook and trying that out. I think a big question is, did this result in any new enrollments?
Actually, one of the PTA's president enrolled their children, and they're still enrolled. It's been a year. I think, again, with marketing, I've learned like one thing is not necessarily going to bring them into your center, but seeing maybe my name and our Facebook, you know, our center's name and like things that we've been doing over and over and over again might someday be like, oh yeah, let me check that out. I've been seeing a lot about it. And so So we do a lot with the schools, you know. A lot of these families have already seen our name in their school folders, or, you know, sponsoring a basket or whatever, but hopefully them seeing us over and over and over again will bring them to our center.
Practice, repetition. That's right, repetition. And they'll retain that. Thank you so much for joining us, Nina. Before you go, though, I do want you to choose a number between 1 and 276. And not, it can't be 111 since we've already chosen that one.
7.
7, okay, on that low in there for the 7. So our team is going to find out number, oops, sorry, wrong poll, apologize. Our team's going to find out who number 7 is, but I just launched a new poll and I wanna know, do you currently have administrator rights to your Kumon Facebook page? It's either yes or no. So this means that you have connected your personal page to the Kumon Facebook page, okay? This is how Nina was able to make posts like this, boost posts. You can't boost a post unless you have administrative rights. So I'm gonna give this 5, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1, 0. Okay, almost all 270 were able to vote here. So that's what we're looking at here. For 168 people voted, 42% yes have rights, 58% no don't. So field consultants that are here from all your different branches, here you go. All right. So now moving forward, we want to, again, thank you, Nina, so much for sharing and inspiring us with your post.
Thank you, guys.
I look forward to hearing how Mother's Day post goes, but I know you have Zoom class to get to today. So
Please, before she goes, I have to say something. First of all, thank you for sharing today. I really loved your example of involving the schools and the voting to get excitement and attention to your page. But I want to tell you you picked the number 7, and that was you. So you won the prize.
Okay, I did not do that.
Yeah, so you won the second raffle prize. I don't want you to miss that update before you go. So you brought great.
I can pick another number.
Very lucky. So congratulations. And then Mr. Matsunaga's number 111, the prize for that one was Aina. So Aina, congratulations. So both of you will have a choice of a gift card or PPE materials that we will send to you. So you can tell us later which of the 2 prizes you want.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you won. You picked your own number. Awesome.
thank you so much, Patty. So that was either a gift card for those winners or PPE equipment, personal protective equipment for their centers upon reopening. So thank you so much to the both of you. That's fantastic. I would like to move on with field consultant Garrett from the Sacramento area. He has an instructor that he's going to highlight here and share some examples with. So Garrett, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Kenny. Yeah, so this next she has 2 centers, and much like Mr. M, she always brings a positive attitude to the table. That's one of the things I really appreciate about her. And what's interesting is last month when we were looking at, okay, what are we going to do? We were kind of looking at plans, or maybe it was towards the beginning, but she was one of the original to work on the plan for. With that being said, use Pallavi Panja. Pallavi, are you there?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Garrett. And thank you, Mr. Masnaga and Mrs. Masnaga and Shuko and all of you guys. We look up to you guys. So just keep sharing your experiences. That's how we grow. So please don't forget about all of us. Thank you for all you do. So I will just share what I did in the last month and a half that made me kind of gain back my sanity. I'm sure all of you face the same issue, that things completely got out of hand, hundreds of emails, text, and messages, and we were trying to get a handle on things, what to do. This new situation just took over everything that we had going on. So for me, I had to figure out a way to get things back in order so I can actually focus on things. And what I did was I took few steps, and I'll share with you what I did. This is just my personal experience. I hope it helps you guys get some ideas. Can I share my screen? Is it there? Okay. So I will just go over what I did, and that helped me. Can you guys see this?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I am trying to start the PowerPoint. Okay, so I took 4 steps that helped me get to where I am. And the first thing that I decided was, because there were so many people that were getting the messages, calls, texts, and I was not able to keep track of everything. It was becoming really, really hard to keep track of everything. So I set few steps for myself. The first one was to take care of my current students and families first, because we have those, and the goal is to get to know what they are thinking. So I set a goal from April 1st to April 15th. I will touch base with all my families, whether it is email, call, text, doesn't matter. And even if they are leaving, they want a vacation, whatever they want, I wanted to talk to them, because I wanted them to know we cared. And I'm sure they were equally as lost as we were about all of this, and stressed as well. So that was the first thing that I did. And then the second was internal marketing and retention activities. I'll go over all of that with you in a little bit. The third thing was I had to make changes to parent orientation. The current parent orientation for me was not working, because I was focusing a lot on the center routine and things, and then we have to tell them, but for now we are not doing that, we are doing Zoom. So it's like you're trying to sell somebody a substandard material, because they are like, oh, then we'll come back when you are ready with everything else. And then the final step was to look beyond the physical aspect of center and really get to know that what all the opportunities we have. So those were the things that I worked with. I will go to the next one so I can explain. So the first thing that I did was I wanted my center to look the same as how it was before. The Zoom center should look the same way. So I decided that I wanted to still see all my students. And before we started this Zoom thing, I had center 5 days a week. 3 days I had one center, and 2 days other, from 3 to 7. And it was always a struggle to find time to do parent orientations, parent meetings, because I had to do it at 7 after the center. So every day it will go on till later at night, 8 o'clock or something. And then meeting with all the parents was something that I didn't have time for. So it was always a struggle how to have all these parent meetings and things with the parents going with the 5-day schedule I already had. So Zoom really gave me the opportunity to put things in order. So what I did was I went through a lot of different things and selected that I wanted to talk to all my students once a week at least. So in a 30-minute session, I can, if I spend 2 minutes per person, I can have 12 to 15 people. So I started with 12, 4 assistants and me, and each assistant works with 3 subjects. And that way I can manage 12. Having 12 students in one time made it possible for me to have 96 in a 4-hour class with 30 minutes. And pretty much all my center, both the centers, I was able to put them in just 3 days. So now I have class on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That freed up my time, so I can spend time on parent orientations. I can spend time with the current parents. There was some students who parents didn't want to do Zoom, so I gave them option that you can come and have a meeting with me once a week, just for 10-15 minutes. So I get a chance to talk to you, just go over the new concepts, watch the kid do some important sets and things like that. And even the parents who were not happy about doing Zoom because there was already too much Zoom happening in their life, they were okay with the fact that, okay, 10 minutes or 15 minutes in a week or every other week is still something they would give that time to me. So that was one thing that I did that really helped me. I don't know if I can show you my did I went back to?
You'll have to reshare the screen you're trying to show.
Are you able to see my screen?
We can see the PowerPoint.
Okay. How do I reshare? Your screen is paused.
You have to stop it and then
redo it?
again.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so I will go here and then I will go to the other one. It's easier for me. Now you can see my screen? The sign up or no?
It's loading.
Almost.
So basically, while this is loading, I don't know if it is loading, or can you see the signups or no?
No, it's not there yet.
Okay, I will try again and see if I can share again. I'll share this one now. Is it, you can see it now?
Yes.
Anyway, so now I have 3 things available for my parents. One is just parent meetings. They can, if they don't want to do Zoom, they can just sign up for a parent meeting and talk to me once or every 2 weeks one time. So I can watch the kids do the new concept. I can go over the work they have picked up and go over any changes to the plan. I have one session, which is the regular session for the Zoom classes. And then I have achievement test sessions that are all already set up. So the parents have options to pick whatever is working for them. If you go to the Zoom session, you can see that we have workshop sessions as well, which I always wanted to do, but was not able to do because I didn't have time. My center was open all 5 days. I didn't know when to do it. So now I was able to do all of those different things that I wanted to do before. So that's what I was able to add. If I go back to the PowerPoint, you guys see it, or I have to stop share and go back?
Stop share, go back.
Okay, perfect. So I will do that. So back to my PowerPoint, the thing that I worked on next was changes that I got. Why this doing that? All right, so back to where I was. The next thing that I did was once I figured out what parents wanted, I designed the program to, now that I had 2 extra days where I can do parent orientations, or I can actually focus on growing or thinking something beyond just email and text. I set up internal promotion. So I gave free registration to siblings in April, and to compensate for the second subjects because they can't avail free registration, I gave them $25 off per month for next 4 months. And that helped, and I'll go over in the end with that part as well. But the other thing that I had to change was the parent orientation. When I did the first 2 parent orientation in April, I found that I went over the Kumon routine, I showed the video and all of that, and even our video start with the Kumon Center. But all of these people were not even getting to get into the Kumon Center. So after I do the whole orientation, my orientation was ending at the fact that, oh, but for now we are doing Zoom. So I figured that that's something that is putting off parents. So what I decided was, now I start orientation with Kumon is a home-based program, and we monitor your child twice a week. And it could be in the center, or it could be via Zoom, or whatever you prefer, we will be monitoring. So the focus was changed from the center and the physical aspect of it to the part where I am working more on the Kumon program aspect of it. The Kumon became more important, the worksheet and the work the kids are doing and the stuff they're developing, irrespective of how we are monitoring, we are there to help and guide, but the center is not the whole thing about Kumon. And that helped a lot. Parents were able to relate to that, and I was able to then get more positive results from that orientation. So that helped a lot more. So once my Zoom classes were set up, either I was getting 80% of the people were on Zoom classes, 20% didn't want to do Zoom, so I gave them the option, at least talk to me once a week or once every 2 weeks so we can go over the new concepts and the plan and the progress, and most of the parents agreed to that. There were parents who still wanted to take vacation or leave the program because they really wanted the in-center experience. So knowing them, and a lot of them were with me for some time, I was like, okay, you have been with Kumon, you have given us so much time. Can you give me 1 more month? You don't know how Zoom will go, but you know how we are, how you know how the instructors are. So can you try it 1 more month? You can always leave if you want to, but give it a try, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you always have the option to leave. So a lot of them decided to stay, and that really helped. Then after that was done, because I had more time to focus on things, I could focus on growing, and that's what I scheduled next time. But for me, I wanted parents to to know that we really cared. It doesn't matter how, whether it was in center or looking at the student working on something online, but we cared and we were there to help them. And I think parents appreciated that a lot. For me, that led to the last part, which is a realization that, you know how they say nirvana is when you let go of physical things and you can actually enjoy the freedom. This is freedom. I am telling you, the whole center is on. This is always I was struggling with for 15 years, struggling with getting the whole center on schedule, having parents to grade, and having a face-to-face communication. Always time crunch, always not able to get through that. Now, whole center is on schedule. They all have to sign up. There is only 12 spots for everybody for every 30 minutes. So they have to sign up. All parents are grading, and they're sending me weekly updates on their work. And I will show you that as well if this works as sharing can work. I'll show you how they're sending the update to me. And now I'm able to talk to all my parents face-to-face, all my students face-to-face. And it is so much better than how it was before. Before, I felt in the center, you have 100 things to worry about. You're like, oh, on the road. Oh no, I have to go tell them not to do that. Oh, that assistant is zooming out, zoning out in, and I have to tell them, hey, come back. We have so much work to grade. Or these two guys are talking. The parent is on phone. So all these things. Now, when I'm in a Zoom class, I'm only focusing on the kids. There is nothing else to focus on. I can look at my kids, talk to my parents, and there is no other distraction. This really gave the freedom that I was looking for, in respect to the fact that we are not limited to the space of our center anymore. We are not limited to, if we can look beyond the 20, 30 table and chairs. We really have a table and chair in every house in the city, or every Kumon has a table and chair in every house in US. So if we can just let go of that aspect, it was really, for me, a positive experience eventually, because you could you not have to worry about the space or the city regulations or busy times or not so busy times. So this really helped. Eventually, the results from this, I had 12 enrollments in the last 10 days. The orientation now is at 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Total loss in April is 10%. I'm sure that numbers, I'm going to lose students like everybody else, and it is going to be there, but I will know more by June. 80% of the center is doing Zoom, and 20% prefer either phone call, email, or a Zoom meeting once every 2 weeks. All Zoom classes are fitted into 3 afternoons, so that gives me 2 free days to do orientations, parent communication, retention, and marketing. Or you can just spend time with your family, whatever you prefer. And all students are in 3-to-1 Zoom group. So I don't do one-on-one unless it's needed. So if I see somebody needs that time, then I will schedule them on one of those parent meeting days to do a one-on-one Zoom. And parents are recording and sending me scores, and they're grading and sending me a weekly report. So I will share with you something else that might, if I have time, I don't know, I'll just share a few things that were open so you guys can see that. So I'll just go here and see what I can share. I think it's loading and I don't know what it's loading right now. So this is, I think, a picture of how can you see it? I think my window is there, but the picture is basically the instructor is, assistant is there, I am there taking a picture, and then you see 3 students working with the focus on their worksheets. And so that's there, and then I don't know how to go back in this one. And then I have a video, let's hope if it plays. It's just a few second video.
While it loads, could you tell us what the video is about?
It is just how the center is, like the focus is mainly on the student. It's just like how the regular classes, the kids are working, and I just see the worksheets. We don't even focus on their actual work. So basically the assistant is there and the 3 students working on their worksheet, and you can see that we can focus is on the worksheet, so we can see that. So that's basically it. I do weekly emails with my parents now, so they are able to communicate with, they feel that at least I'm communicating with them weekly. But the basic thing that I got out of all of this is that we can still grow. We can still, if we stop thinking of this as a temporary fix, but actually embrace it and like the positives that come with Zoom, then we can actually still focus on the current students and as well make more time to grow. Because if I can put all my 5 center days into 3 days, and if I have to grow instead of 12 per 30-minute session, I can make it 15. I can add 1 more assistant and make it 5 assistants, and still not have to change my days. That will still give me those 2 extra days to focus on other things that are really important as well. So
yeah,
it really helped me.
I think you've been incredibly flexible and resilient, which is really fantastic. You've been thinking forward and a lot on your toes. A lot of people are asking the same question in the chat, so I want you to answer that one question before we move on for time. But a lot of people are asking, how do they submit scores to you if they're home grading?
I will show it to you. Screen share. Let me show it to you if I can go to the. I have given all of them. What do you call? I've given all of them. You know those blue and green, orange record books. So yeah, record books. So I have given all of them pages from there, and they record it on there, and then they send it to me. Let me see if I have here, if it comes up. So I'll have to stop the video and then share this again, right? That's how it has to go. Can you see it or not?
No.
What it's loading?
Go ahead and reshare and select the actual thing you want to show. But after doing that, she is going to show us examples. It looks exactly like a record book, right?
Yeah, it looks exactly like a record book, but I will just show you if I can find where it is. It says weekly report. So again, I'll have to stop share and then I have to come back again. That's what I. Here, so some of them are actually sending me record books. They are completely like, they fill it and they do everything. If I can find it on my phone, I can might as well, it's faster. But some of them send it to me like this. And this is like weekly report for Arvish from so-and-so. So I see the dates, I see the time, they're all scored, they are all written on there how the kid has done. And all I have to do is record, my assistant has to do is record it on the sheet myself. So either they're sending it like that, or they're actually sending me record books, which I have given to them. I can find it, I will show you. But it's either or. I'm getting this kind a lot, whereas a whole weekly work is set for me and I can see it and I can record it. That also tells me what kind of pages or what concepts kids struggled on, so I can contact the parent and then decide on a separate meeting with them. But I don't see.
If you share a photo with us, we can email it out to instructors.
I will send it to you guys. Yeah, I have the photos. It's record book, just like how we record things. And it's just recorded by time and scores right there. So.
Great. And we'll share that along with the Kumon to Go planner, because that's very similar, available on iKumon. It mimics the record book. So
right. So at that point, when we had to give this out, because we were giving 3 or 4 weeks work, I didn't have time. So I just tore pages from the math and reading record books and then gave it to parents along with it. And that work, they just fill it and send a picture to me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for sharing. Thank you so much for, staying positive, being open to discovering new things about the process. I think that's really fantastic. I even got a separate text message just to me saying how much that instructor appreciated your presentation today. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we do have a lot of questions in the chat. If we did unanswer it, we'll follow up individually with our instructor here. With your FC, we'll follow up with you individually. So again, thank you so much, Pallavi, for sharing. Thank you, Garrett, for helping Pallavi. Thank you so much. We want to end on some branch updates, but they're region updates. So we're going to be talking about the reopening guidebook that you all have been emailed. So I'm going to go through this presentation, but I urge you all to look at that reopening guidebook and read it, okay? So we're just going to briefly cover this. We're gonna go in more detail next week about center reopening guidelines. For those that are in different branches, your FCs have this information and can follow up with you as well. So as you know, the guidebook was released for reopening. Keep in mind, this is version 1. So we do expect to update this accordingly as we receive more information to keep you better informed and prepared. In this guidebook, it talks about reopening and several different areas, but do keep in mind that the reopening of states is up to the states. So California is different than Florida, that's different than Arizona, Nevada, so forth. So keep in mind that the orders allowing businesses to open will come from the state. However, Kumon North America will monitor the state's orders and will work with the branch staff to interpret how they impact our Kumon centers based on our branch. So the states will make a decision, and then Kumon, our local branches, will reach out to you with the wording. So please remember that it's a guidebook. All decisions and outcomes should always be based on the safety and staff of students, the customer experience, and then how that student study effect is interpreted. Communicate to address customer concerns. So we'll look at center cleanliness policy as well as social distancing at the center, because those two are the most asked about questions so far. So looking at operational changes, we expect to continue with correspondence right now. So continue to conduct virtual classes via Zoom as well as parent orientations until your center can fully reopen. We want you to utilize the e-enrollment forms to reduce the number of documents that are passed between you and families. And we highly recommend implementing the online scheduler. So those that are on KLMS are using the online scheduler. If you're not on KLMS, we can sign you up. I think since May 1st in San Francisco, over 65% of all orientations booked through Kumon North America have been booked on the online scheduler. So fantastic. Let us know if you have more questions about that. Looking at the operational changes that you could be making are opening up more hours or more days to limit the number of students in your center at once. You also want to reduce the number of families overall within the center, so conducting virtual parent orientations and encourage parents to take advantage of e-enrollment is heavily advised. And then continue to use Zoom sessions on a weekly basis to balance the number of students that are in class. So you might have some students that are solely on Zoom, some that are coming to the center on a weekly basis. Now, the point is to avoid overcrowding, so you might be eliminating your parent waiting area and using that as maybe storage or maybe like a pickup and drop off for worksheets. In your PPE kit that KNA is sending you, there are feet stickers to map out 6 feet to encourage social distancing. But of course, we want to encourage parents to not be in the center as much as possible, right? We want that social distancing and the safety for our students. I think as Pallavi was alluding to, and we've heard several other instructors talking about, a hybrid approach. So when we make our way back into the center, you might continue doing Zoom classes while opening for orientations, placement tests, achievement tests, and the exchange of worksheets. You might have the physical exchange of Kumon worksheets while continuing those correspondence classes, and maybe just doing virtual POs and PTs, but they can still come in person for the exchange. You could also open the class to Kumon students, PO, PT, ATs, and offer online options to students so that your center is very safe, right? So there's multiple different ways you can balance this here. Now, to prepare for the center reopening, one thing to think about is what's your staffing plan? Who's coming back? Do you need more staff? How are we going to train them on new procedures? So it might be good to touch base with your assistants and their comfort level, maybe their parents' comfort level if they're younger, about coming back to work in the center. Also, how's your worksheet and material inventory? Is that ready for your center to reopen? Stock up on cleaning supplies and disinfectants now. I know they're really hard to come by, but I did hear of an instructor who's been placing orders every single week so that they're ready to go for center reopening. So stock up on those. Give your center a deep clean. I think that's really fantastic to really sanitize, clean. Some people have changed carpets, that's good. Declutter your center. This is like a spring cleaning, so get rid of the things you don't need anymore. You will need to adjust the center layout, fewer tables and spaced apart to encourage social distancing, and you can rearrange the flow for that. As mentioned, you're going to receive the personal shipment of PPE later this month, but you'll need more, so that's why we say in stock up. This is an image here that Chieko Otsuka shared with us about how she has already, set up her center for social distancing. So tables are spaced apart. She's removed some tables. There's also one stool at each table. There's one grader at each table. There's no waiting room. So this is strictly for students 6 feet apart. Looking at the normal seating on the left, social distancing seating options can be seen on the right here. So tables are further spaced and only one student per table. So those are some options for you. For those centers with the waiting room inside the center, many instructors have voiced to me, we're eliminating that. That will just be for more student tables or for worksheet drop-off. It's really important that the center is clean. Obviously, one way to do that is ventilating that classroom. So open windows, doors, front door, back door, use fans, blow out, ventilate as much as you can, okay? And disinfect. This is before the center opens and while the center is open, always disinfecting any touch points for students, right? Shared equipment like number boards, stopwatches, barcode scanner, those types of things should be sanitized regularly. And of course, students should be bringing their own pencils and erasers. I know some centers share, they might have like a lot of pencils there for students to get, but they should bring their own for their safety. Of course, utilize PPE. You check the temperature of staff and students, require the use of masks for staff and students, and make sure that you have your center cleanliness policy now that indicates hand washing, social distancing, symptomatic, and attendance. So, hey, if you're feeling sick, don't come to the center. Those types of things. And that center cleanliness policy is in the guidebook. Student density, so how closely are these students sitting next to each other in the center? Remove unnecessary furniture like we talked about. You can set a time limit on the students learning while they're in the center. Adjust the number of worksheets completed in the classroom. So when they're coming back in, they're not coming back into 40 pages a day, right? And of course, reduce conversation as much as possible in close contact. So using nonverbal communication and instruction is heavily encouraged. This is a time where you might implement a scheduling system, so 30 minutes per subject per student. Pallavi wasn't scheduled before, now she's super scheduled, so this might be easier as she transitions back into the class. That's really great. So if they're given a time slot, they can adhere to that. And keep in mind, coordinate that schedule if there's a lot of siblings. I think Pallavi was using Sign Up Genius, that's really fantastic. Calendly, if you're great with Google Docs, that's how you want to utilize that sign up sheet. So thinking about your main classroom, 1 student per table and staggered seating, as we talked about. For EL, the assistant can stand between 2 tables or push 2 of the EL tables together to allow more distance. Center capacity and the number of your EL assistants will determine how many students you should schedule at a time. So your field consultant can work with you about the number of EL against your assistants if necessary. Another thing to think about is to eliminate the traffic flow while in your center. Students stay seated at all times, and the assistant is able to pick up work for corrections and grading. So they can place work on one side of the table and drop it off at the other side. That way a student doesn't congregate nor near grading tables, eliminates that foot traffic. So to communicate the center reopening and marketing for it, thank the parents for their dedication to Kumon during this pandemic. Obviously, we thank them so much for sticking with us through this trying time. They obviously understand the value of Kumon, so we want to thank them, right? And we want to communicate the reopening by date, phone, email, social media, all that stuff. And those templates are available within the guidebook. We want to introduce that cleanliness policy to parents via email, have it posted in the center, talk about it over the phone, all those things. On your next Zoom meeting, make sure that you talk about the cleanliness policy when you're going back to the center. And reinforce that communication through regular media, such as regular email newsletters or on your social media. Invite discontinued students back. There's an email template in the guidebook, but you could think about doing postcards. Follow up with any leads from Q1, update your e-page and make social media posts. I did see one center, they made a Facebook post about them cleaning the center and showing that off to parents, which I thought was really great. We need to think about student motivation coming back into the swing of things. They've been in their pajamas for 2.5 months now, so their motivation might not be 100% when they come back to the center. So we need to think about that. So a welcome back and thank you to parents, whether it be a small gift of gratitude, a thank you for home grading, maybe a goal setting party or plan might be really good to re-energize a student, and maybe even looking forward to a fall student award event to really re-energize the students there. Now for instruction and communication, we want to make sure how they're doing at home and let them know that they could see adjustments to the lesson plan when they come back into the center. It might not be the same type of workload that they've been doing on Zoom. And consider conducting conferences to communicate all of these to the parents. I know Phyllis talked about doing parent conferences via Zoom, which was a really great idea. Now on that first class days, students should not complete new concepts. This is a readjustment period for them. If they need review, consider assigning corrections. And of course, review the basic classroom routine, whatever that routine is based on your center, right? There's gonna be an adjustment for how that center looks. So you might need to review that basic routine with them, even if it's previewing their worksheets because they weren't doing that at home. So that is, in a nutshell, really fast 28 slides. We will be going over that again next week, at least here in San Francisco, but field consultants in your respective branches do have access to this material. You were sent the guidebook, so please do read that. And then if there are any questions, you can run those by your field consultant. I didn't see the chat, but now I see that there's 56 messages. Patty, is anybody available for
Yes.
questions?
Yeah, Pratik has joined us for the Q&A. I know there's many questions, and like Kenny said, this is just the first opportunity for us to share this formally during the weekly meetings. We'll continue doing so in the next few weeks. And I know in each area, today we have Seattle branch, we have LA branch, San Francisco, Hawaii. Every area is different in terms of the reopening schedule, but the preparation is still the same. So those were the guidelines shared today. If you have questions specific to when is the opening day for your area, we will leave that up to the local branches, and your FCs will follow up to discuss with you the preparation and also your opening date. But does anybody have any questions right now, since we do have Pratik from corporate planning on any of the guidelines in the reopening plan? Does anybody have anything you want to?
So Alice has a question I see on the chat. I'll start answering some of the questions I see. Are we able to order face shields from Kuman? Alice, we are looking into it, but at the same time, I know Amazon, at least I saw a couple vendors have some really good prices on it. Like I think they were like 2 for $6 or $7. So I definitely would recommend you go ahead and order from outside vendors if you can. Right now they're still available. Even I know Staples had them on their website, so definitely if you want to use them, please go ahead and do that. Carol asked about the plexiglass barriers. There is some options. I know there's one option available definitely on Murray Promotions, and we are also constantly adding items every week, or not if every day, on that on Murray Promotions. So please keep checking their website on a regular basis, because as we are finding new items and vendors who are able to produce the quantities we need and in the time we need, we will keep adding more and more items on there. So definitely there is more new items coming on there. Also, before I answer more questions, just to add, Kenny, thank you for the presentation. Those who haven't gone through the guidebook, there is a second version of the guidebook coming out this coming Tuesday, because we have already received some feedback and we have made some changes. We have also learned from things that are happening in places like Texas and Atlanta or Georgia, where centers are started to open. So we are learning from those instructors and changing or adding things as we keep learning. So please keep looking for the new versions. We'll release the new version Tuesday or Wednesday, and we will email you the new version, but please keep looking at that as well. Also, and also there is also going to be the center cleanliness policy and other communication pieces. We are also going to keep modifying that as we learn from instructors. There's also a more visual center cleanliness policy that's coming out for students, so that you can post. So visual as in just showing 6 important points like 6 feet distance, hand washing. So students who can't read, like EL students or younger students who can see things more visually than instead of reading big lines. So we will be sharing those with all of you as well, so that you can post that in your parent waiting room. Okay, any other questions? Hector asks, does Kuman have any suppliers for PPE? So we are working with Murray Promotions, Hector, and I'm sure Kenny already shared with all of you we are sending some PPE equipment out, what we call a starter kit, which will consist of like 25 gloves, 25 masks, 100 gloves, some hand sanitizer, and thermometer. And they are already ordered and should be hopefully here in a couple of weeks to everyone. Are we going to enforce face masks of students? That's a very good question, because this is a question we have been getting a lot from all over the country. And we have been going back and forth because from a legal perspective, what can we do? You know, you have heard of stories, I'm sure, all across the country that some are protesting face masks, some are saying face masks, some are saying, at this point, we are going to let you make that decision as your own business owner. But I know in counties and states that require, like I know in Smitha, I know in Fremont, it is required in all stores to kind of wear face masks. So yes, in your centers, you can require students to at least wear face masks, or a band, like a cloth covering covering the mouth. But we will keep as different guidelines come out, we will keep adjusting that as well on that. Can masks and gloves be available on order on iKuman? We are trying to right now find a vendor at a right price. As you know, these items are on high demand, so we don't want to put this yet on iKuman. We're using an outside vendor because we haven't found. Once we find the perfect vendor with the perfect quality, this is something we will consider in the future. I don't know if I'm missing any questions that I missed. The face masks are washable. Yes, somebody in Dayu asked if the face masks were washable.
Pratik, for the dividers, there are some available in Murray, and we are for additional options. So we will share that as soon as possible.
Yeah, I know Steve just puts something today on, or is going to be on Murray today or tomorrow, thanks to recommendation from the US West instructors. Patty was able to talk to Steve, and there are some individual dividers for tables too, which are not plexiglass. Please take a look out for them, and they're relatively inexpensive. They're under $10 each, I think, or $12 each, something like that. So please keep an eye out for those too. So I think there was one very good question from Pallavi. So a waiver, we have been getting a lot of questions about that. So that's something that definitely, what is our liability and what is our waiver? Legal is working on a perfect, on something to answer that is a waiver needed or not. Right now, when legal has researched, it is that the waiver is not needed. But at the same time, how do we answer inquiries from parents, and how do we answer inquiries that we may get about the liability? So we'll be providing a more definite answer to you in the next week's email as well. But till then, the one thing I can tell you is that please definitely, to reduce our liability, even for our employees, like our graders and etc., is follow all the guidelines that are recommended by the state. Make sure they're posted. Make sure you have everything that the guidelines require. Especially, like I said, from Texas, the one thing we learned is that there's a center cleanliness policy. The center cleanliness policy should always be posted in your parent waiting room, should be given to each parent, should be emailed to each parent. But the center cleanliness policy and the regulations that you want your staff to carry out, like wearing face masks all the time and things like that, they should also be posted where there is a employee posting area, or where employees may keep their personal items. Or if I know most centers don't have a break room, but if there's a place where there's lockers where employees put their stuff, please post all these things so the employees are understanding of it. Also, one instructor was able to have their employees sign their cleanliness policy, that they understood the cleanliness policy and will follow the cleanliness policy, so that limits your liability quite substantially. So like I said, this is not a legal answer from my end, but legally we'll be providing you an answer. But these are just some tips that we have collected from other instructors. Insurance issues, yes, we are investigating that, because this is new for insurance companies as well. They are still trying to process. This is not a bacteria, this is a virus. How does virus fit? Because there is some policy that cover bacteria. So we are giving you an answer on Wednesday. We should be able to release in the instructor Tuesday or Wednesday when the email comes out. We will be covering that insurance policy question as well. Christine, I do not know the answer to your question, but we can follow up regarding can employees claim employment and insurance, because I'm not sure about that.
That's a state by state thing and a city.
Okay, Kenny, perfect.
So I'll text you, Christine. Okay, there's a lull. So
okay.
I think we'll put it there. I'll keep the chat open for more questions to come in though, so we can download those and answer those as they come through. So thank you very much, Pratik, for joining us today and being able to facilitate an FAQ on the center reopening plans. So thank you, Pratik. We really appreciate that. Also, as you mentioned, version 2 comes out next week, so we'll be updating with more information. Whenever that reopening guidebook comes out, you'll be emailed it. So definitely make that a priority to read, so that we're really informed there. So thank you.
Yeah, and this is going to be, as Kenny mentioned, this is going to be a living document which will keep changing as guidelines from states and CDC keep changing. So please be aware of this, and thank you for your understanding on that, because we are learning from other, we are learning from other instructors we're trying to learn from instructors very quickly, so we can keep adjusting it, especially in states where centers are opening, so that we can pass on that information to states where centers have not opened as quickly as possible.
Definitely. I like the idea of a living document. Hearing from everybody today, like my heart is very happy. My heart is very full. talking about the future, but a lot of hope. This pandemic has opened up our eyes to a lot of things we never would have seen before, not just how the students are working at home, but the resilience of our families, of our students, as well as you as instructors. Like us as staff members, we're seeing a new type of instructor evolve and transform. And I have to say, it's quite magical and very inspiring. So I want to thank all of you so much for your hard work. Thank you so much for staying past 12 today. I'm glad we were able to do some of those questions. And of course, thank you to every single region and state and field consultants and branch manager and general manager and FSC team, everybody joining. Thank you so much. This has been a fantastic region call with over 270 people joining us. So thank you very much. Patty, do you have anything to tack on?
Yes, just 1 second. Every week I say that was my favorite meeting, but today it definitely is the best one so far. So it keeps getting much more exciting every week. Thanks to all of you who are joining, and special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Matsunaga for the really wonderful and inspiring, heartfelt opening message today. Shuko for more instructional insight. Nina for your Facebook contest and great ideas there. Pallavi, you were so energetic and gave us a really bright side of things to focus on. And of course, Pratik, thank you so much, answering very important questions that's on everyone's mind. Thanks to Kenny for the whole coordination and the reopening slides, but also to all of the instructors who joined today from the West and all of the West staff that joined, because I know everybody's really busy, but took the time today to come together and learn together. So thank you everybody so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we hope to see everybody again next time. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Great meeting.
No, thank you.
Thanks so much for everything.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you very much.
I see you, Connie. Bye, Connie. Bye,
Thank
Connie.
you.
Bye, Connie. Bye, everyone.
Do you want me to just end the meeting and hop on the team meeting link for Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, have you saved all of them?
Yeah,
the comment?
it automatically saves.
Okay, yeah, I want to make sure we get everything on there.
Thank you, Jiro. Good to see you. So join the Monday, Tuesday link.
Is that what we're doing? Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
For San Francisco staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Francisco team. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye.